Hey guys, welcome to the arcade. Thank you very much for joining me. Today's video, I wasn't entirely sure if I was going to make or not because there's still a lot of questions I have around this particular product. It's a new entry into the home arcade space. We did hear a little bit about it late last year, but not a lot of people covered it, and I'll sort of go into the why behind that as well. But if we jump over, it's actually listed on Smyths website at the moment, and it's the Iconic Arcade. Yes, now this is what we heard about last year. I believe it was GameStop over in America that was promoting this. So it's advertised as a fully customizable, all-in-one home arcade solution, and I guess in some ways it is. Now it's it's pre-ordering at the moment for $400, which when you look at everything that you're getting, it's kind of okay, I suppose. So let me run down what you're sort of getting here. So if we go down, you've got a 21-inch HD display. Now, was pointed out on the Discord when we were discussing this that if you're going with a 4:3 ratio, you're not getting as big a real estate as you would on, say, one of the arcade one-ups. That it's kind of smaller. So for 16:9 games, yeah, it's going to be fine. But if you're playing on the right aspect ratio for the classics, it is going to be a little bit smaller. There's two 4-inch stereo speakers. However, I've looked into those ones and they're not of great quality. There's people have been reporting that they've blown them out quite easily. You've got an amp in there, so it looks like it's going to be of decent standard, but I don't know what the amp is. The whole thing is running off a Raspberry Pi 4B. So this is where we get into the crux of it. So this is what's going to be powering this Iconic Arcade. It's going to be a Raspberry Pi 4B, and I have no problem with those things. I've built a few home arcades myself using them. What I can't find out is what version of the 4B it's running on, because there's 4 depending on the amount of memory that you're going for. So here we can see the model 4B. We've got a 1 gig, a 2 gig, a 4 gig, and an 8 gig. Now most of the ones that I've built, I've gone with the 4 gig model, just so it gives me enough memory that I can push through any game I want. The only problems that I have are on emulators that don't support the ARM processor, that it needs a full x64 architecture. That's going to be a failing for this machine as well. So not all emulators are going to run. Now the Iconic Arcade does say that it will work with a number of different front ends. So we've got the likes of Batocera, Recalbox, RetroPie, and Laka. For the likes of Batocera and RetroPie, you're going to have the same sort of problems that certain emulators just aren't going to run on a Raspberry Pi. So that is going to limit the games that you're going to be able to play. Another thing that I find odd on this is that they state that it's going to come with 45 plus games on it. However, I can't find a list of all of the games. What I can find is 2 separate lists, one for Batocera, one for Recalbox, and they have sort of different games. Now, I don't know why. Is it that they're saying that this list of games will run on Batocera and won't run on the others, and this list of games will run on Recalbox and won't run on the others? Don't entirely know, but it will come with a thumb drive and allow you to flash whatever operating system that you want. From people that have picked this up already over in the States, they kind of leave you on your own. So unless you really know what you're doing, there's not a great amount of instructions in regards to either building the cabinet or running and updating games on it. So this is really something that someone who's already in the home arcade space and has built their own machine, or at least has operated with either RetroPie or Batocera, that will understand the nuances and the config that's needed on this. The fact that they put RetroPie on this, RetroPie is definitely not for beginners. Like, there is a lot of work to do. Batocera would be the way I would go on this, because it really does take the configuration out of it. It's either going to work or it's not. There's no reason to start messing around with things, because Batocera will just pull in cores that are stable and that it knows works. I'd love to pick one of these up just to be able to play around with it and give you a better idea of what it's actually going to be like to live with. Now, it comes as a bar top. You maybe can't see the join, but it's around sort of here. So it's a bar top and then a stand as well. Now, what you're getting for 400 quid, it's not too shabby. The Raspberry Pis have gone up in price. They are becoming quite expensive. Now, I'd love to be able to see if I could rip out the Pi in here and replace it with a mini PC. If you could do that, then absolutely this becomes a lot more viable for different games. £400 is maybe on the high side at the moment. I would probably pick it up if it came down to $299. I'd love to see what other people think of this one, but trying to find reviews of it at the moment, they're kind of scarce. It's not easy to find people that have picked this up, and I think the reason is because it's built with a Raspberry Pi. They were a cheap entry level, but like I said, they've gone up in price, so you could probably pick up a mini PC or a refurbished Windows 10 machine for around the same price that you're getting for a Raspberry Pi nowadays, and you're probably going to get more out of the PC than you do with the Pi. But that's just my opinion. It's on for pre-order at the moment. I'll put a link in the description for Smyths. It's coming out in August of this year. I'm probably going to watch this. If it does come down, I may pick one up just to see exactly what you can do. The fact that it has the entire cabinet design, it kind of pushes me towards it. I think you are getting good value for money on this. 400 is maybe just pushing it a little bit far, but it's not bad. If you understand how to use Batocera and things like that, you'll probably get a lot of use out of this rather than trying to build your own or getting a like a flat pack with a monitor, with the controls, with the Raspberry Pi. It's probably going to come to around the same price, so it would be an interesting one to see. I'd love to try and get one, and I'm going to keep my eye on this. But if anyone is interested, please head over to the Smyths website. I'll put the link for Iconic Arcade's website as well. You can have a little look at that and tell me what you think, because I'd love to know other people's opinions on whether they think this is going to be a good thing or a bad thing. With the sales or with the releases of home arcades kind of slowing down to a stop, maybe this is going to fit into a bit of a gap at the moment. There's a lull. Maybe they can take advantage of this, who knows. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, guys, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye for now.